Howdy, Simmers. I have another build video for you today, and it's kind of the same as what I typically do, but also a little bit different. The build, I mean, not the video. The video is the same as it's always been. Basically, I built a starter home, which I don't build a lot of starter homes in The Sims. I don't ever focus on budgets, but today I did. So like I said in my last video, I'm a little bit burnt out from making family homes, so I've been trying to build some different stuff lately, and starter homes are kind of along that same line as family homes, but I don't really build a lot of them, so I wanted to try my hand at building a starter home. I think I've only done this maybe once or maybe two other times. I don't even know. They're not something I typically build. I don't really like to focus on budgets, so I typically just go all out. But for this, I gave myself 20,000 simoleons because that's the starter funds that you get when you only have one sim. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna stick to budget. And in the end of this, I think I actually was left with like 5,000 simoleons still. I definitely could have done more with this house than I did. But because I'm not a big like starter home person, and I know a lot of the stuff, especially in base game, is really expensive, I was wanting to be a little bit careful with how I was spending my money and making sure I didn't go like too expensive because yeah. Of course, I do use a lot of stuff that is not base game in this build. I don't like to restrict myself with packs either, which is one of my main problems. All of my builds are like just so many objects from random packs, and I have a problem, okay? I don't like restrictions. But I built this in Willow Creek, just your classic Sims 4 world, and I think it turned out okay. It is definitely small, but I think it works out in the end. So, I originally went with a kind of dark theme outside. I was testing out like black stair rails and the black wood, and I was like, you know what? This is too dark for me, especially for a starter home. I want to lighten this up a little bit, so I ended up switching to white. But I did leave the roof and also the trim of the house, like the border stuff, all with that black. So, yeah, I did try out different roof textures, but I don't know. The black ones are just my favorite ones. They look so nice. Inside is very, very small, and I was very heavily leaning towards this blue theme. I think Little Simsy's blue suburbanness is rubbing off on me because that's like all she builds ever. So I was trying to find a wallpaper that wasn't so blue, and I went with this brown one, which I know it's ugly, but it's a starter house, you know? It's not supposed to look like super fancy or anything. It's just supposed to be like basic essentials, what you need, you know, nah. So, yeah, in the end, I do think this came together, and we have 5,000 simoleons left, so I think that's a decent number of simoleons to have left over for a sim. So 5,000 can get you a long way in the sims. Maybe not so much in real life, at least these days, but in the sims you can do a lot. But I think out of every room in this house, which there's only really like three, I am a fan of the living kitchen dining area. I think that it just kind of works out very well. And I don't know, the bedroom is a close contender, but I do think overall I like this layout that I had. It was such like a small area, but I think it worked out in the end. And the blue kitchen, you might be wondering, why did I do that? I wanted some color, okay? I wanted to have a bit of fun with the kitchen. It's one of my favorite places to decorate in The Sims, and I think a lot of y'all can agree too. But right now I'm just going around and throwing some clutter everywhere, just like art, some plants, and I do actually include some activities in here. There isn't a computer of any kind, but you do have an easel, a bookshelf, and then outside there are a few gardening pots. And yeah. I did make sure that there was some stuff for your Sims to do in here. Not much, but you know, it's enough to get you by. And of course, you can do some painting and even some gardening if you want to make some extra money. So that way you can move your Sims into the fancy home of their dreams, because this is not it. Uh, Landscaping, I stuck with base game stuff, trying to fit the area of Willow Creek. So we have some of these, like, I think they're American beech trees. I saw one in, like, somewhere in the nearby area, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna put these down. So I did a couple of those. I'm grabbing some ferns to put down everywhere. And that is basically the build. So let's go ahead, jump into the game, and I will show you the finished product. Alright, ignore the bad lighting. It's just the lot. It's not my fault. But this is our little starter home, and this is available on the gallery for y'all if you want it. But let's go ahead and very slowly head inside. So over here we have a couple of gardening pods. I went with this door from the Nifty Knitting Kit. I don't know. It looked cute, but I can definitely see how people would think that it might be a little bit weird. So I'm not sure I'm really like fully happy with that decision. But over here we have our dining area. So just a couple of chairs because I don't expect there to be too many Sims living in this house. Over here we have a small living room. I did make sure to include a little side table because we don't actually have room for a coffee table in here. And then over here is the kitchen. So very, very cute. I used some very basic appliances because was definitely trying to keep it a little bit cheap. So there's a trash can for you. Over here is our very small bathroom, equipped with some toilet paper, so that way your Sims can wipe themselves, even though they don't actually do that in this game. I pushed the shower in a little bit, so that way whatever tile I put on this wall would kind of go with the shower instead of having its own thing. That's a trick I've seen a lot of builders do, and I've been trying to do it a little bit more, but sometimes I just forget. And then lastly is the bedroom, which actually might be my favorite space. I might take that back about the living and kitchen area being my favorite, because I think this is a really cute bedroom, honestly. I did utilize the little like hanging dresser stuff from Dream Home Decorator because I knew that this room was going to be way too small to fit a dresser. And of course, when I was building this, I did not really think to expand at all on this. But yeah, that's the house. There isn't like a backyard or anything. I forget if there was even space for one. Oh yeah, there would have been space for like a little one. So if you ever download this house and you want to extend on it, feel free to. Of course, you know, it's definitely possible to do. But yeah, and like I said, I put around a few trees. There's some of those American beech trees over at the Pancakes house. So just a couple around. And the ferns and the wildflowers were all based on the section that was right next to the house. So yeah, that is the build. I hope you guys like it. It is available on the gallery, like I said. But it's just called Starter Home on the gallery because I'm not creative with names. And of course, my gallery ID is in the description for you guys all the time. But it's TheSimmingKoalaa with 2 A's. So if you want to find it, that's the easiest way too. I hope you guys like the build. I am trying out some new stuff, so please just kind of bear with me as I get through this weird phase of not being able to build my usual family homes. And let me know in the comments if there's anything that you want to see me build, whether that's a specific type of room or a build with like a specific style. I'm taking requests because literally I just don't want to build family homes right now. So please help. But with that, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you have notifications on so you don't miss anything. Be sure to follow my socials, links are below. I'll see y'all soon. Bye!